So I'm watching the Dark Knight trilogy, and finding it really boring. I never liked them back when they first came out, but I'm sort of going through them again. Yeah, they're just really overrated films, especially the second one, because that seems to be the one that people really like. But yeah, I never liked the more realistic approach to Batman. I don't really see the point. It's a comic book, it should be, a comic book style movie, I don't know, I just don't like I don't like the Batmobile, they call it the Tumbler. It just looks stupid to me. Sort of like a tank. Like, it's got no real shape to it, it's just a weird looking thing. I don't really think Christian Bale is that good of an actor. And I like Morgan Freeman, but I don't really see the point of his character, because it's like he's being Q from Bond. He's the gadget guy. But I'm pretty sure Batman normally invents the gadgets. I don't know. Katie Holmes is nice to look at. I don't mind the chick that replaced her in the second one, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I know some people don't like her, but whatever. She's fine. Yeah, I like her in other films. I would have preferred they kept Katie Holmes, obviously, but yeah, back to Christian Bale. I always find that his American accent sounds really fake or really forced, especially when he's doing the dumb Batman voice, and he kind of sounds like that in Terminator Salvation. Like, he's doing the same gruff kind of voice, very shouty in that movie. Michael Caine is pretty much just Michael Caine. He always acts the same. The action scenes are kind of dull, they're not very exciting. They're kind of edited weird sometimes, I think. Where things jump a little bit too far ahead. It's hard to explain, but it looks a bit odd to me sometimes. It's not obviously odd like some movies, but it is kind of odd. What else? Music's not that great. The score, which I don't really remember too well now. Yeah, it's just basically just a bunch of notes. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining music, but it's certainly not memorable. Yeah, the Ra's al Ghul character, which they pronounce wrong, it's Ra's al Ghul in the comics and the animated series, the 90s. Yeah, so they say his name wrong, Ra's al Ghul, and it's League of Shadows instead of League of Assassins. And they take away the whole Lazarus Pit thing where he's immortal. You meant to think he's like lived a long time because of this pit that he kind of bathes in. Yeah, they took all that away and changed it. He's the one that trains Batman. I don't think that's a thing. I think they made that up. There is eventually a sort of a bat plane, bat wing type thing in the third one, Dark Knight Rises. But it looks just as terrible as the Tumbler. Doesn't even look like the Batwing. Heath Ledger's Joker, I think, is one of the better things in these films. It seemed like he was, having fun with the performance. I think he did a good job. I don't like that they made him more realistic and didn't involve, falling in the acid and all that, but for what it is, it's not bad. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman was okay. I didn't mind her. The Scarecrow, they didn't do a very good job with. He's basically just a guy with a sack on his head. That's kind of it. They didn't do a lot with him. He's basically just the lackey. So in Batman Begins, you think that would be his plan at the end with the city, was it some kind of gas? But that was actually Ra's al Ghul's plan. Seemed odd to me. That seemed like something the Scarecrow would do. The hallucination gas, or whatever it's called. But I didn't really like that. He's just a guy in a suit and with a sack on his head, and that's kind of it. But he played it well enough, the guy. I forget the actor's name, but he played it well enough, but he didn't really get a lot of screen time. Especially in the second one, he has like a quick cameo. But even in Batman Begins, it seems like he's not the main character, not the main villain. The guy playing Bane, I forget his name at the moment, but the Bane character, he just came off really awful. Like stupid voice, sounding like Sean Connery. It literally sounded like he was doing a very exaggerated Sean Connery expression. I mean, impression. It was very stupid. The Two-Face thing came off a little bit silly to me. Him walking around like that, like these fresh injuries that you think would be really painful. It didn't make a lot of sense. The Talia al Ghul, which is Ra's al Ghul's daughter. There's more interesting storylines to do with her in the comics and the cartoons. But in the movie they, didn't really do it that well. In the comics and whatnot, her and Batman have a kid together. And he ends up being one of the Robins. One of the many Robins. But I just always felt the Dark Knight trilogy was very overrated. I didn't like Batman Begins. This is the first time I saw it. The Dark Knight, same thing. I thought if anything it was worse. It seemed to drag on too long. And the Dark Knight Rises was about the same. It's hard to decide which one is worst of the three. At the time I felt like Dark Knight was worse than Batman Begins, but now that there's all three of them, I don't know which one's worse. They all feel kind of bad to me. So I don't know, leave me a comment, tell me if you agree. I know a lot of people like these films, but I was never able to get into them. Just the whole realistic approach to Batman is just boring to me. And it looks like I'm watching some kind of crime drama, but Batman just showed up for some reason, like a cameo. He just standing around in his bat suit looking out of place. It's very odd. So I don't know, yeah, and I haven't even seen the new one, the Robert Pattinson one, because it looks like the same shit again. I just don't feel like watching it. So I don't know, tell me what you think of these films, and I'll read the comments later. See you later.